All right, today I'm going to talk to you about transforming a formula. So a formula is a rule that shows the relationship between two or more quantities. So one formula I might have is the formula for the perimeter of a rectangle. So if you think about a rectangle, it has this length here, right? And down here is going to be the same length, it's going to be the same measurement. And over here we have the width and the width, okay? And with this, we could say that perimeter, because perimeter is the distance around the figure. It's like if I put a fence all the way around it. So I could say that perimeter equals two widths, like W plus W, plus these two lengths. And I'm using cursive L's because print L's look like ones in math. So we always use a cursive L to show length. And then I could simplify this then. Okay, so I could say that perimeter equals 2 times whatever the width is plus 2 times whatever the length is. And so this is the formula for the perimeter of a rectangle. Perimeter equals 2 times the width plus 2 times the length. So that is our formula. And I could ask you to take that formula and I could say solve for L, okay? And let me show what I mean by that when I say solve for L. So if I have perimeter equals this, to solve for L, what I'm going to do is try to get the L by itself. This is the same as when we were doing something like 24 equals 3 plus 2x, okay? And to solve this, to get the x by itself, we would first subtract 3 from both sides, and then we get 21 equals 2x. And then we would divide by 2 to get rid of that, and then 10.5 would equal x. That's solving the equation for x. You've done that tons and tons and tons of times. Now what we're doing is we are solving for this L. So in the same way, we want to just get that L by itself. So let's look at how we're going to do that, okay? I'm going to start by getting rid of the number that is not attached to the variable. So I need to get rid of this 2w. And so I'm going to do it just like I did with the 3. I subtracted 3. I'm going to subtract 2w. Okay, it works the exact same way. And then I'm going to subtract whatever I do to 1/2 of the equation. I need to do to the other half of the equation. So since I subtracted 2w here, I need to also subtract 2w here. And now I'm going to rewrite this. Obviously, I can't actually do any subtraction here because I don't know what p is and I don't know what w is. I'm just going to write it as p minus 2w. That's as simple as I can get. And then I'm left over here because this is gone. So I'm left with just the 2 times the length. Okay? And so now what I need to do is I need to get rid of that 2. The way I'm going to get rid of the 2 is through division, because that 2L means 2 times L. So just like over here, how I divided by 2, I'm going to divide by 2 here. That's going to get rid of those so that I have just L. So now I have the L by itself, which is what it means to solve for L. And again, whatever I do to this half of the equation, I have to also do to this half. So I'm going to divide by 2, like that. And then my answer becomes p minus 2w divided by 2 equals L. That is transforming a formula. Just whatever I'm asking you to solve for, you get rid of everything that's on that side of the equation, and then that's your answer. Okay? So we're transforming it because we started out with just the p by itself, but we didn't want just the p to be there. We wanted the L to be by itself, and so we worked and got the L all alone and put everything else with the P. Okay. So if we had another one, let's do one more together. Okay. We'll call this problem 1. So problem 2, if we had y equals 2x minus 4, and I want you to solve for x. So same thing, we are going to move everything over to the y side. We're going to start with the number that is not attached to the variable. So I'm going to add 4. It's going to get rid of it here, the minus 4 plus 4, and I'm left with just 2x. And then this I'm going to rewrite as y plus 4 equals 2x. And then this says 2 times x, so to get rid of that 2, I'm going to divide it by 2, and that leaves me with just x here. And then since I divided this side of the equation by 2, I have to also divide this side of the equation by 2. And so that becomes my answer. Y plus 4 divided by 2 equals x. So I have now solved this formula for x. Now I want you to pause the video and try it with this formula. I want you to solve this formula for x as well. Let's do, let's go ahead and pause the video and do this problem and then restart to check your work. Alright, so the way that you do this, again, is you want to get the x by itself. And so I look there, and what I see is that the x has a 3 with it, a plus 3. And so I'm going to do the opposite. I am going to subtract 3 from both sides. That gets rid of it there, so I'm left with just x. And then I'm going to rewrite this as y minus 3. And so that is my answer. That is solving for x. And so that's how you transform a formula.